Well, hello everyone. We start the hottest part. We'll see how it goes. It's debates, and now we're going to be talking about whether AI is a threat to labor market for human labor in the next 10 years. We're not trying to predict. So we have two teams. First team is the one that's in favor. Let's put it on the screen. The first team is that is in favor of that statement. Mykyta Artemchuk from AI-based company, and Tymofii Milovanov, president of Kyiv School of Economics. Tymofii is here. We're thankful, and we invite him to the stage. The second side is who is against that statement, and here we have Oleksandr Klimenko, CTO of Zibra AI, and Serhii Sahun, CEO of SmartTender and from Signy. But before we begin this discussion, I would like to ask you to vote. And please scan the QR code and put your vote in favor. At the end of this discussion, we'll compare. So each of the participants will have up to 3 minutes to state their position, why they support or so those who are in favor of the statement that AI will steal 1 million people's jobs. Right, greetings. And you know, it would seem to me it's easier to defend this position rather than against it, because we see these trends and we see it all over the world. Secondly, I see it in our projects. Thirdly, it's important for me to tell you a story that it's not happening overnight. It's not going to be like we wake up and millions are jobless because of AI. It's going to happen gradually. Most probably it's going to be using not like you implement a technology or design a technology and decide to fire a lot of people, but it's going to happen through under-hiring, under-staffing. So in our case, it happens like we optimize certain processes in some line departments, wherever people are doing more or less monotonous tasks every day. The new technologies allows to not to staff these departments with people. So people will lose jobs over the next 10 years, and millions. It's primarily not about firing people, but about not hiring people. So that some professions will either require less people or will just disappear as jobs and be transformed into something else. Okay, Tymofii Milovanov. So, you know, I got 3 minutes. I will be telling you facts, but you can also start me with a question. Everybody's saying that, yeah, there'll be a transformation, there's nothing bad. I fired my adult communication experts, and I replaced with AI and some students. Really, I did it. And I have coverage on Facebook, 100 million per year, and about 1 billion on Twitter cover. So I have coverage like 3 million views, and I haven't done anything yet. I only approved a post on Crimean Bridge. Of course, an argument that new jobs will emerge. What kind of new jobs? Prompt engineer? It's already automated as a prompt engineer. So the difference of this technology from previous technologies is when a welding technologies emerged, when new products that's one thing. But AI is not doing something new. It replaces cognitive and verbal process of a person, not the top level, but the mediums, and it just beats all the juniors. Unlike the previous technological revolutions, ask yourself this question: what new real tasks AI is creating. All the AI is now replacing. That's how it develops. That's how it grows. That's how it is designed to replace existing human functions. It's not created for as new technology of a drone or recognition to create something new. No, it's not the technology. You take what people do, like recognition of tank on the screen, replace it. Write an article for CNN, replace it. Write a lecture and replace it. Diagnosis, replace it. So in this technology, you don't create new things. It's not to create new jobs. So let me give you some data. Let me start with this case. Specific people, jobs in Krakow. Mateusz Dembski, you can check it out. A journalist lost his job. His radio station replaced the host, radio host, by AI avatars. Animal Beer's copywriter from Great Britain was fired after the employer started using ChatGPT to create content. World Economic Forum predicts that we will lose 26 positions in the administrative sector up to 2027 by AI. Yeah, the new jobs will be created, but not as many as dozens of millions that will be cut. Right, friends, if you are now concerned after hearing this, let's hear the other side to give you some glimpse of hope. So who's against the statement? Let's start from Oleksandr Klimenko. Thank you. So I will start with the story. In 1956, founder and fathers of IT, they were on a summer camp in Dartmouth. In 2 months, they decided to solve these problems. Processing of natural language, abstract thinking, creativity, autonomous decision-making, and even the improvement of software. As of now, only one problem of this list is solved, which is processing of living language. It took 65 years. Why is it important to understand? Now there are two scenarios of AI developing. First scenario, AI becomes entirely autonomous and independent from human beings. Second scenario, AI remains a powerful tool in human hands. As of now, the autonomous AI, full autonomous AI, is not yet resolved scientific problem. Like Eric Schmidt actively invests in startups that are doing non-stationary decision making. Maybe we will resolve it in 2 months this summer. Maybe it will take 65 more years. We don't know, and we cannot know it because human creativity is unpredictable. And that means that any speculation about autonomous AI are irrational. What's rational is the second scenario, where AI remains a tool in human hands. What do we know about the tools? I look at the GDP growth from 20th century and look at where technological revolution is happening. You will see crisis, COVID, but you will not see where internet was created, where computers were created. You won't see it there. But imagine what accounting looks like in a big company without a PC. It took dozens of years to take this, because the speed of innovation is limited not by the speed of technologies created, but the speed of adaptation of society and businesses to these technologies. And this process takes one generation or through other reasons rather than technology. So it's a gradual chart of productivity growth. And the future will not look like the past, but you can see preliminary conclusions that adaptation of business for AI doesn't happen overnight. It's a lengthy process that takes time, and it takes time not to create new technologies, but to understand how to use them. That's why all the scenarios of changing the labor landscape overnight is not too rational, and they're more like sci-fi predictions. But of course, if in the nearest years the autonomous AI emerges, then it's going to be a different world. So we're talking about 10 years time horizon. Yeah, my argument is that we cannot make any predictions in time because human creativity can take like 65 years or 2 years. We don't know. Right, thank you. Serhii, what do you think? Oh, thank you. You know, I was scared a little bit, and then I found some consolation. But you know, in the very question here, it's a bit negative because it's about technology and it's a breakthrough technology. I don't think we have to be afraid of new technologies. We have to adapt it and use it and learn to use it because each technological revolution goes through fears. It's steam engine, robots, computers. In the 70s, many banking clerks, when banking was automated and the first ATM machine emerged, they were scared of losing their jobs. And some routine jobs got automated, but managers were more concerned about investments, customer services, and so it didn't come to radical job cuts. So coming back to jobs, in this audience, in this panel discussion, we were studying back when there was no so many computers or smartphones or internet, but we managed to adapt to this reality. We all made our careers. We're continuing to stay on the labor market. We continue working, and as Oleksandr said, it's a gradual adaptation.
A lot of educational courses have been introduced that were mentioned in the first panel. UQ, Catholic University, has those courses, so the system is being adapted. And now, if we mention about those who lost their job, we can also remember 23rd year when the Swedish company, let me look correct, some banking startup technological company buying now, and later Blatna company. So it also used a lot of abbreviations at first, and then it reduced the staff at first, but then they started to hire people again because they optimized the processes, but they lost the quality and they started to lose the customers also. And now they are hiring back and they are testing Uber model. They are hiring staff, not on the full time, somewhere flexible, but I'm sure that the jobs will change and people who will use AI will be more competitive compared to those who are not adapting to those technologies, and roles will be changing, and the job market will be also changing. As for the technological revolution, the general jobs quantity will be increasing. We have an alert, and we are adapting. All right. Let me see. I remind everyone that you can see the online broadcasting, and those who want to go to the shelter, we will accompany you, and the online broadcast will be available. All right. We have another block of short questions. I will be asking questions, you will be answering. 1.5 to 2 minutes at best for the answer. Anyone who have an additional answer, raise your hand. This question would go more to those who are in favor, to Mykyta and Tymofii. Is it indeed the job lost, or more of a transformation of a format? Because those who are against, they thought that it's about adaptation. Well, those teams who are against, they say that adapting is slow. AI is not adapting slowly; it's fast. This is the issue, because the human is adapting very slowly. The one who is dumb, so he will be without job. Those who are smart, they will preserve the job. Unfortunately, dumb people, they are a lot in the world. That will be our problem. Of course, the dumb people are always our problem. I'm a capitalist, I'm not a socialist. Well, when they say everywhere and always they are adapting, well, excuse me, but you should not be smart, but you should be strong. The majority history of kind history. You should be run fast and be strong enough to hit the opponent. And only after the Enlightenment age, the smartness, the intelligence became popular. What are the guarantees that AI will change and will suppress the intelligence? Everything we learn in school, what we learn in school, to pose a question and to give an answer. That's what the AI does today. To teach a person how to write, that's what the AI does. To teach the person how to make basic decisions. Unfortunately, this technology is indeed threatening. I will try to answer. Now we have one case in AI which is very exemplary as of today, the automation of programming and developing. All these developers who are using these tools, they start to learn that the productivity 2-3 times growing. And this is a very real anticipation that in 10-15 years, 80% of code will be developed by the program. But we only look at this particular profession, which is likely to be exchanged, to be replaced. The AI is in ecosystem, and 80% of all the software we have now is obsolete hopelessly, and we don't know how exactly, but we know that the interface will change. The code can be generated right away, and 80% of product should be rewritten. Of course, the programming and development will be looking at in another way. It will be more analytical, but we just eliminate it through 3 jobs and create even more other jobs. Because we need to rewrite 100,000 or even millions of bytes of codes. That's the same thing that happened in the previous technological revolutions. We have 2-year full focus on AI, and we only now starting to understand how to use it actually, because the systematic changes, they are complex. Are there spheres, we're talking about IT programmers, where people replacement is evident by AI? It looks like the taxi drivers are most resistant sphere. They try to replace them, but are not succeeding. What are the spheres can be replaced? Looks like this sphere where monotonous or monotonous tasks are taking place, like copywriting, are under threat. Some moderation, some scoring. You are from Prom, copywriting, right? Some particular examples. Any particular changes that you are introducing AI in place of real people? A few of those instances not successful and some successful. From those that are successful in the broad sense, moderation, data use and anti-fraud, the decision making, whether it's in this is account or it's a fraud, or which percentage, and this allowed us to reduce significantly our expenditures on the fraud development. When something goes wrong, to develop those losses. Also moderation of sales of products, the automation, which allowed us. My position is this is not in so much about the firing of people, but more about not hiring too much. And the third one, and the fourth one, it's not direct process that we are witnessing now. It was used for the salary, the translation question and fixing some results of the meeting, protocols so-called, and transferring it to some, translating into certain tasks, in certain tasks. That's what's happening right now. Where it can replace, well, I am against it, so I can tell where it can be a helper. AI can generate the prototype of agreement. Also, in the previous panel, we talked about some models who recognize the X-ray, and they can find and they can recognize some signs of the disease. Another example, I would name about the typical notional agreement when the client would not agree on this, where it would require negotiations. What if this X-ray the system can help to recognize, but the doctor should be one who establishes the diagnosis and then makes some decision-making process. And the majority of business, it's not about some processes, operational processes. It's about non-standard decisions, it's about conflicts, it's about political decisions, some non-standard technologies. So I think in reality AI is a helper who can help the people to increase the productivity, but not being capable of replacing it fully moving forward. How much the human factor, education policy, regulation can influence the scale of AI introduction? If we would live in socialism, people would not allow the AI introduction because it takes the jobs and it is bad for people. Maybe it's still ahead of us. Well, definitely some protest will take place, but we are living in capitalism, and the life evidentiates that by wars, and not only wars, that some small group of influential people can aggregate enough power to move the world, unfortunately. And this what humankind is struggling and fighting all the time. It's the fight. What we saw with OpenAI companies, Anthropic companies, or other, that the scale has influence. As much feedback they have, the more they develop, the more data they have. And then now we are talking that the governments could protect people and say that the people are against it, but what we will witness is that the governments will be forced, especially in those poor countries, to use open AI companies, for example, to do some services for the people, and thus they will be dependent on big companies, and this socialistic struggle and fight against AI will be lost, and thus we will live in the slavery of AI. I'm not sure if I should applaud or cry. I would add something about capitalism. What we are witnessing in capitalistic society when we have with tools to radically increase our performance, we starting to create more. That what happened when new tools appeared. Returning to the question of autonomous independence. If AI will be working independently or autonomously, fully, it's another story. But it's a speculation. It's not unresolved a scientific issue. It's still in the hands of humankind. So we are having some economic stimuli, and we are being motivated to earn more, to work more. So productivity raise is not the first time when it happened. In all the cases, we started to develop more, to earn more, to create more added value. Is that what we will see with the AI? Now, more jobs in different adjacent spheres, and not totally unpredictable. Nobody could predict. Oh yeah, sure. With the example, the adaptation jobs. Tell me the example of the new position which would take more people than less people, according to the quantity of people. Tell me one scenario. I understand with the welding machine, yes, but with the library, with printing, I understand. With internet, what about AI? Could you predict 30 or 50 years the social media marketing profession? So your answer, you can't predict it. My question is not about prediction. We have a discussion, we can predict it. My argument is that the jobs, those jobs that will be destroyed will be more than those jobs that will be created. I will give you an example. I gave it already, but I will repeat it. So now everything goes to the direction that 80% of program code will be written by LLM. But simultaneously, AI made it in this way that 80% of software is now obsolete. That means that we are destroying we are destroying jobs, and at the same time we're creating new jobs for the programmers, developers, who will work more like analysts but still programmers. You have a logical fallacy in this statement. The destruction code is obsolete, and then the AI IP, not because the analyst thinks in other way. Yes, if the code is obsolete because of AI, because AI can write better code, then AI will write the code, not the human. If it's only the case if it's absolutely autonomy which is unresolved now. If it's not autonomous, it should have less people than the coders. It means that we need less people than earlier, but we are having more job because we need to rewrite 80% of existing code. Okay, we are having a this circle, this vicious circle, but logical fallacy. AI is better, otherwise the code wouldn't be absolute. But in your argument you didn't present any structural change, but I will not stop on that because it will be too complex to explain. The essence is that AI writes better code, and analysts who can pose good questions, they are few. And my position, which I expressed at the beginning, is the juniors will die and the seniors will be better. They will be better. And your argument emphasizes it, that those who are already having experience, who can be managers, they will have higher salaries, they will be more popular. And Junes who could just start now, why should I take June when AI can do better? What will happen when senior dies? Well, you know how corporation works. They will think later what to do next. They will learn, they will teach Junes for their own money, corporate money. But AI will still do the job while they are learning. The final statements. If the AI will be three times more intelligent, are we ready for this tomorrow? And how can we adapt? Who wants to start? I'm ready for this. I'm not sure. It looks like what's happening now. We also were not prepared for this. And people are adaptive. It's our innate skill. Whether we will use it in some other way than we use it right now, probably yes. But would it speed up the transition of humankind to the new technology? About the mere increasing of the productivity of technologies, I think yes, but not significantly. I think we need to keep a pace, and those countries on the level of governments, on the level of corporations, who invest in right now, and on the level of companies, on separate specialists, research on it right now, they will have more chances to adapt to the new realities. Tymofii, all right. The problem is the people can't be adapting so fast. All of us are not in full reality check with how those changes are occurring. And in the volley, those productivity will increase. The inequality between Ukraine and Silicon Valley is great, for example, because there people are earning, and we are just a poor country here. We have some exclusions, but still exceptions, but still our people are poor. And we cannot afford those level of education which is needed in the world to re-educate our children ourselves for the new challenges, because AI replaces us in the question of Q&A or just write the code. And to go to another level, we need the education of the United States top universities, because one, we cannot afford it as a poor country. Then we have a serious crisis. I will answer to your original question. I will try to answer. If AI will be much more intelligent, I will just concentrate on those differences that we should understand between the intellect, which is more intelligent, and who knows more. We know how to create AI who knows more. It knows more than we all together, but it's not the same as universal mechanism of decision making and problem solving. That's why we can absolutely scale it if it will move in the direction which is now moving. I don't see any risks. everyone will agree with me. The more they will agree with the consensus of researchers, of AI researchers, we still can't create those tools who can be universal problem-solving tools. And until we haven't taught how to use them, it doesn't mean how much it knows. Now, everyone has 1.5 minutes, and you can try to persuade the audience in your position. Let's start with those who are against. Serhii. My position is unchanged. Well, at least once we didn't change the position. We can't object to technologies. The technological revolution is occurring, it's serious, it's on the verge. We don't see where it will come, at which point it will come, and now we can see how the transition to robotization occurred, how much jobs were created, how many jobs were created by internet, how many new specialists appeared. This economic forum 2023 anticipated that AI will create more jobs that it will lose, but it was 2 years ago. As of now, my position is that if we learn and this technology and employ it in SmartTender, we can see on the example on our leads, if they use these tools, they enhance their productivity results. So the person who starts to learn and use these technologies, this person will be more competitive than the other one who doesn't do it. All right, I would like to finalize with concentration on the problems that we talked in the previous panel. The innovation are not just technological, they are product related. So we need to pay attention to the real product innovation in AI and what is the tempo and the pace of those innovations, because one thing is to create fundamental models where everyone understands that it's a technological revolution. Another thing are the tempo and pace of introduction of AI into the real cases and real business. And now we can absolutely pose a question: this technological revolution, is it similar to the previous technological revolution? Because for more than 2 years the businesses are having AI on the top charts of the agenda, and still we can't understand fully how exactly those technologies will influence the business. Why? Because at the first we have a technological revolution, then we have product-related revolution. Product-related revolution is now occurring with the same time as we had previous one. So nothing occurring unprecedentedly. It's a little bit scary because this thing talks to us, it looks intelligent, it knows a lot, but in fact it's another technological revolution. We already had it, we will have it one more time, we will transform, and it will look differently, but we will adapt to it, don't worry. Thank you. And in favor, Mykyta. I have the same position, unchanged. I don't think that the next 1 or 2 years the AI will create some massive reduction. It will happen, but not significantly. Most probably just more people will not have the job. So a lot of vacations, a lot of jobs will not appear if these technologies wouldn't develop in such fast tempo. So a lot of people would not be able to consider those jobs. I would like to kill 3 counter-arguments of our position. First, that history shows that the new jobs are created. Our opponents have different variation of this argument they presented. They told that the adaptation will occur, we don't have full automation, a new task will appear, in fact that we don't have the coherent arithmetic, because at past the changes occurred gradually in different spheres, and now AI strikes all spheres simultaneously, unprecedentedly caused cognitive capacity. So those tendency of excluding Junes, you will need more seniors who will die. Yes, but we have strict question whether AI will create this threat, unprecedented threat of job losses in next 10 years. So yes, AI just helps people, not replaces them. Well, first objective of AI introduction is just reduce the expenditures and not to develop stuff. The ABM threatening the changes of contact center, a new specialists will arise. Where 50-year-old factory worker will go? Who now those who are maintaining the loans, now AI do it by themselves, and now they are jobless because we have AI robot. Well, what about trees? AI robot cannot go around trees. No, it can go around trees actually. So, thank you. Final voting. Please scan the QR and vote again if you did it long time ago. And let's see who won. Okay, we have the results. The Tymofii, Milovanov and Mykyta Artemchuk team won. We greet them. Congratulations. Anyway, these are just talks and anticipations. We don't know how it will be in reality. Next year, or maybe I will be replaced by AI avatar, and those who are against, they warned us. Oh no, those who are in favor warned you, and they were right, basically. If we will swap, what will happen? So, let's thank everyone for the great discussion. Thank you. Thank you for good moderation.